Right, so I'm actually just hit record, okay, because we definitely want to save the information that we're about to cover. We'll be posting it online for folks to go back and rewatch, okay? So recording is in progress. You guys, again, welcome to today's session. I have on the screen today's agenda, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off. I'll go ahead and start with some fundamental sort of search tools, how to find information, and then how to access your My HPU student portal for the first time, and setting up your email settings and where to kind of find that. Okay. Then we will go right into the registrar's office. They're gonna share some information relevant to our international visiting international students, in terms of the pre-approved course list, course change requests, and some other sort of reminders surrounding course registration, followed by our Office of International Students and Scholars, otherwise known as OISS. They'll go over the health insurance waiver form, some mandatory immigration reporting information, and some other just travel and immigration reminders. Okay, so bear with me, folks, because we're going to get into some of the nuts and bolts here in terms of navigating some of these sites. Okay, so let's dive right in. Okay, so Student Services Center, we're located here downtown Honolulu, Waterfront Plaza, Suite 5A. So we're on the ground floor. Okay. And within the center now, so student services encompasses a really broad scope of transactions, offices, and different sort of processes, right, related to university business. At the Student Services Center, though, there are 5 departments. We've got the business office. They handle tuition, billing, payments, your e-bill statements, etc. We've got the International Exchange and Study Abroad program, so interning and studying abroad. We've got the Office of International Students and Scholars, OISS. They are going to be in charge of the immigration reporting process. They advise students on some of the regulations, U.S. federal regulations. And then they help to guide our international students in sort of acclimating and adjusting to not just American culture, but really in this context, Hawaiian culture. Okay. Financial aid office. Now, that's not necessarily going to pertain to our international students. This is again federal aid for U.S. students. So, but the registrar's office. Now, you're definitely going to be in contact with us big time there. So we've got the bus passes, right? Student discounted bus passes. We issue your IDs. We manage a lot of sort of student information surrounding privacy. Yeah, like so for example, you can see on the screen FERPA. We'll cover some of these things today and try to make it a little more simplified, right? We're not going to just throw you into all those services, but I just kind of wanted folks to get an eye on some of the things that we do here. Okay. So one of the very first things I know is searching information. Where do you get information? One of the resources that I use pretty much daily is just our straight up our homepage, hpu.edu. You go there, it's our homepage. Right there in the top right hand corner, you can see here is a search bar. That's a pretty standard, easy way to just do keyword searches. You think of a word, what is it? First time sign in is the example that's on the screen. You could search up tuition, you can search up financial aid, you can search up whatever it is that your OISS. You can type in things of that nature and it'll pop up results. Okay, that to me is a pretty effective way. We've also got Sharky. He's a relatively new chat bot, but he's got some answers to your questions as well. Okay, so those are just two really fundamentals that I wanted to highlight real quick. Okay, so this page now, I refer to it as our guide page. Okay, so it's hpu.edu/guide. All of our Ohana check-in recordings are going to be stored on this page, okay, along with the Kuleana checklist. Okay, so you're going to be receiving these emails with sort of these broken down tasks to be focusing on sort of a bi-weekly, weekly basis. And then the Ohana check-ins, they work together to reinforce the same message, okay? So, and just bringing it to you in different mediums, okay? So hpu.edu/guide, that's for all of the information pertaining to our fall incoming 2023 class, be it international, U.S. domestic, that's where all of that information will be housed. Okay, so if you follow along with us through the summer, this is going to be your go-to resource to find information we've already covered. Okay. Okay. Now the next bit, and let me forgive me, I might have forgotten to put a link. Let me copy this information real quick because I want to put it in the chat. So my HPU is your student portal. Okay, this is your own, like, it's your own student portal where all of your information is housed, right? You can go in, you can change your profile, you can go in and adjust, just information about you as a student, okay? It's also where a lot of your privacy information, your private information is located, okay? So signing on for the first time, let me real quick put this in the chat so you guys have the link. And if you wanted to follow along, you can, but there's basically what I've put in the chat is going to be the steps by which you need to take in order to successfully like sign on to your portal for the first time. Okay, so you're going to right here when you do pop in sort of my.hpu.edu, you pop it into your browser. You're going to see that login screen. Okay, for first time, if you've never logged into it yet, you're going to want to select this option here. This is first time user. Okay, and use the link that I just put in the chat. You can use that link to kind of go through the process of accessing your account for the first time. Okay, you're going to need your personal email address, your HPU issued username, which you should already have. And if you don't have that, then you can reach out to your admissions counselor to get that information. I can look it up for you too. Then you're gonna have to set up some account recovery settings, okay? If you go through that process when you have time, I mean, if you're doing it now, that's great. And then once you're kind of set up there, then you will be granted access to your student portal. Okay, and so it looks like this. It's like a dashboard, right? It looks pretty basic, pretty I think we're all accustomed to using these sorts of sites already at this point. But one thing that I want to highlight, so this is your student dashboard. Okay, you see this navy blue column here on the far left-hand side of the screen. When you hover over that, it opens up to a wider menu. And each of these sections here, student services is going to be one that you're going to be operating in quite frequently because that's where a lot of your student information, if not all of it, is located. Okay. The other sort of way we bring you information is through the student quick launch, right? You've got just straight up icons that are easy to find. Okay. So this very first one is going to be your Gmail. So it is sort of tied to your entity as a student. And you're going to want to access that email account early on so that you're not missing out on any important university announcements. There's both, academic, there's fun things, that we do on campus. And then there's also just from the individual the individual offices that you're working with, they're going to be emailing you through that account as a means to, again, protect your information. We don't want to be talking to just some random person about your very personal information regarding your education. And so that's why we use our HPU email, okay? So when you get into your student portal, click on that icon, okay? You're going to want to sign out and then re-sign back in using the same login credentials that you used to access the portal in the first place, okay? And before I think I've already put IT's contact information. Yes, if you run into some really serious hiccups, just contact IT, help@hp.edu, provide your student ID number, and then they should be able to get back to you way quicker than without the student ID number, okay? So go through that, check it out, click around, kind of see where information is, and just go ahead and explore, okay? Okay, so let me pause this real quick. So this is going to be, this is sort of a common thing, I think, maybe a common issue is like, oh, I'm not getting the emails or something to that effect. Well, I mean, or it's, maybe it's just you're not accustomed to checking multiple emails, and I don't blame you for that. But one tip that I kind of wanted to go over, this video is silent, but you can see the steps that are being taken to forward your emails. So at the time of application, you input a preferred email address. That's going to be the email that you're going to want to forward HPU emails to the preferred method. That way you don't have to necessarily track multiple accounts. Yeah. You can just sign into your regular, you're already signed into your regular email, your preferred email. And then you just receive these important university announcements. Okay. So I'm gonna hit pause. I'm gonna hit play, and then I'm gonna hit pause throughout, just so people can kind of see the steps to take to get to these settings, so that you can go ahead and forward these emails. And then, of course, individually later, if you guys want, if you need more help, I can definitely help you one-to-one. Okay, so we're gonna hit play. So now let's say you're in your Gmail. Okay, you're in your Hawaii Pacific. So here, right here in this corner, you've successfully logged into your HPU email when it actually says Hawaii Pacific University. That's going to be your student email, okay? It's username at my.hpu.edu. Okay. So from here, you're going to click on the settings, see all settings, forwarding POP and IMAP. Click on that. You're going to add a forwarding address. Okay, now this is where you're going to put your preferred email into this field here. Click next, proceed, and then okay. Okay, so when you get the verification email to the email that you want our communications to get sent to, you're going to go in there, click the link, and that's going to really wrap up the verification process. Okay, then you're going to go back to your Gmail settings, refresh the browser. Okay, you're going to want to, now this is important. So where it says keep Gmail's copy, instead of it saying keep Gmail's copy, it'll say keep Hawaii Pacific University's copy in the inbox. You're going to select forward the copy, make sure, double check all the information is correct. Okay, and then before exiting out of that screen, you're going to enable the IMAP. You want to enable IMAP. This will allow you to access the emails on multiple devices. Okay, and then at the very bottom, you have to make sure you save changes. Now your settings are up to date in terms of forwarding those emails. Okay, that way, again, just so you don't miss, again, account information and just other important announcements. Okay, again, if you guys run into any issues during any of these processes that I kind of went over, you can contact me right there. Okay. Student services email is the best way. I know we've got a lot of international folks here. So I would email me, and then and before I even move on, I do want to acknowledge that there are at least a couple of different parents that have emailed this account within the last 24 to 48 hours. I apologize for not yet getting back to you. I do see the message. So today, when we wrap up today's session, I'm going to go back in and take a look at the questions, or I know some folks wanted to maybe have like a separate Zoom call, and I'm totally fine with that. It would be helpful to let me know where in the world you are contacting me from. That way, we can try to coordinate across time zones. Okay? So don't think that I'm ignoring you, that I maybe missed it. I see your messages in there. Give me a little bit more time to get back to you, okay? Thank you so much. Okay, moving on, we're going to go ahead and pass the baton to the registrar's office. How are we doing, registrars? Are we good?
Hey, Venus, are you able to unmute? All right, we're not getting any audio from you, Venus, but that's okay, Kelly. I can I'll try to take care of it. If Venus, if you can fix your audio issues, I'll jump in. I'll let you jump in. All right, next
Thanks,
slide,
David.
Kelly.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Barraclough, University Registrar. So just a couple things that the Registrar's Office does take care of on a regular basis. As Kelly mentioned, we are in the Student Services Center at Waterfront Plaza, Suite 5A. At the Registrar's Office, you can take care of things like enrollment verification, which I know that a lot of our visiting international students do need some assistance with. So make sure that you have your forms ready and we can, and that you are actually registered, and then we can fill out some enrollment verification for you. We also take care of FERPA authorization. So for those international students, that's a US law that you may not be familiar with, but the basics of it is that it provides protection for you as a student, that your academic record is yours and yours alone, and we cannot share information with anybody other than you as the student without your authorization. So even your program providers, we can't share information without your consent. So we do have a FERPA form, which will allow you to be able to authorize us, HPU, to share information that you define as shareable. So just keep that word in mind, FERPA. You may hear it if you ask us to do something and we say you haven't signed a FERPA form. That's what we're referring to. We also help with course registration, and I know that most of you visiting international students on the call have worked directly with the Visiting Student Program and the Registrar's Office to fill out your form. If you do need to make any additional registration or course changes before arriving to campus for the fall, please make sure to use that course request form that was included in your email from the Visiting Student Programs. And I know that Paulina is on the call and can help you out with that as well. We also process change of programs, probably not relevant to our visiting international students, but if you are a degree-seeking student and want to switch, say, from a Bachelor of Arts in English to a Bachelor of Science in Marine Biology, we will help assist you with processing that form. When it comes time to graduate, we do have you fill out a petition to graduate form. We help with transcripts and with your IDs, and we also provide the sticker for the UPass, which is the Discounted Student Bus Pass program. So any student who is registered in full-time status, that's 12 credit minimum for undergraduates and 9 credit minimum for graduate students, you will see a transportation fee attached to your record of $100. That $100 is a drastically discounted discount to ride the city and county bus, and so that sticker will allow you to have unlimited ridership on the bus for the full fall semester. All right, next slide. So for visiting international students, a few course registration reminders. You must review and select courses from the pre-approved course list. There is a screenshot right there with undergraduate and graduate courses that are open to visiting international students. When you fill that out, oh, good, and Kelly popped that in the chat as well. Awesome. So you must, we really recommend that you select first choice courses and alternate courses as a second choice. We do everything we can to provide you with your first choice options, but sometimes courses fill up and we do want to be able to provide you with backup options as soon as possible. Check course availability. So if the course you're looking at is already full, please don't list it on your pre-approved course list. We won't be able to honor that. So do make sure that you are selecting courses that do currently have openings, and then go ahead and submit that course request form. It does take us 3 to 5 business days between when you submit that form to process it. And we will respond to you when you are fully registered with further instructions, including information on what happens if you need to make course changes. The deadline to make any changes to your course schedule is Friday, August 4th. That gives us time to set the schedule and get ready for your arrival. So if you do need to make any course changes, make sure they are done by Friday, August 4th, and resubmit that request form with those additional changes. Next slide. So when you are selecting courses, definitely some things to keep in mind. Oahu is a small island in many respects, but we do have campus locations that are on various areas throughout the island. So definitely consider when you pick your courses, where you are selecting. Most of you will select downtown campus courses, DTC. That is our downtown urban campus right here in downtown Honolulu. That is where most of your courses will be. So if you see things like Waterfront Plaza, Aloha Tower Marketplace, or Pioneer Plaza, those courses will be downtown. But we also have courses at HLC, our Hawaii Loa campus in Kaneohe. That is, depending on travel time, that can take anywhere from 15 minutes to more than an hour, depending on construction and traffic. So definitely, when you're looking at your schedule, don't plan back-to-back courses in the downtown campus and the Hawaii Loa campus, because you will not make it in 15 minutes from campus to campus. Just kind of a general rule is a lot of our science labs are at the Hawaii Loa campus. But we also have courses at the Oceanic Institute, and that's in Waimanalo. That is also a pretty significant haul from campus, beautiful campus, but that is where a lot of your hands-on marine biology and oceanography courses will be. So just keep those campus codes in mind as you are filling out your schedule. Next slide, please. So we covered this a little bit, but again, FERPA is a federal law designed to protect your privacy rights as a student. We just don't give everybody information about how you're doing and what classes you're registered for. So you are the only one as a student that has access to your educational record and student account, and most of those things can be accessed through the MyHPU portal that Kelly showed us. But we legally cannot disclose personally identifiable information about your student record without your prior written consent, and that is even for parents or for your study abroad program provider. Unless you give an authorization, we cannot share information. So again, Kelly, thank you for posting the link. That is a direct link to the law if you want to read a little bit more about it. And then our FERPA authorization form is, that PDF is what you see on the screen right now. So as you can see, it's a lot of information on that form, but it is designed so that you can release specific information to specific third parties. So for instance, you can allow us access to release maybe some billing statement information, but not your grade information. Or your registration information. So Part C has those checkboxes, which will give us authorization to release that specific information. So you will need to fill out one of these forms for each person that you would like us to speak with. And you will then scan that signed copy to registrar@hpu.edu. This is not a requirement. This is only if you want us to release information. If you have any further questions about FERPA or the course registration, here's our contact information. And again, we are located at Waterfront Plaza, Suite 5A at the downtown campus in Honolulu.
Mahalo, thank you so much, David. I really appreciate you jumping in there. Sorry you're having issues, Venus. It happens. It happens far too often, but it does. So no worries. Hopefully we'll get it resolved by this afternoon. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, David. I have actually seen multiple students allow their parents access to pay their bill, but not to see their grades. So kind of funny. All right. Now we are going to go without delay right into OISS.
All right, can you guys hear me? How's the sound? Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Christina. I am with the Office of International Student and Scholars here at HPU. I was actually in your same shoes, just shy of 6 to 7 years ago. So I know exactly all the things that are going through your head right now. You get a lot of emails. So please don't worry, don't be stressed. Everything will be fine. It sounds like a lot, but we just want to make sure that once you get here, everything is squared away. You don't have many issues because it's quite a big of a time difference to back home. So if you need to contact your school back home, everything might be delayed. So we want to make sure that you're all set when you get here. So here at the OISS office, what we do is we're basically the middleman in between the US government and you as a student. So as you are a foreign national coming to the US to study here, we just want to make sure you follow rules, you follow regulations, everything is as it should be. There are no problems. We provide you with different advices, documentation. If you need documentation, for example, if you're staying longer for one semester, we want to make sure that you get travel signatures on your I-20 before you leave the country so you can come back to the country. We just have different resources for you in regards to if you're thinking about maybe trying to get a job on campus. How does it work? What does your visa type allow you to do? What we also do is we issue your student ID and bus pass. So for you, as an international student, once you come to campus, you're going to be able to talk to us and we're going to be issuing your new bus pass and your student ID because we expect a lot of students coming in fall as well as domestic students. So the Student Services Center will probably be very busy with a lot of student IDs they have to print and get ready. So you guys will meet us at a different location to make sure that we can service you and get your bus passes ready. But we're only going to do that after your successful immigration. So you cannot just walk in and expect your bus pass. There are a couple of other steps that we have to take care of. Next slide. Okay, so what we don't do, a lot of students kind of confuse that even though we are the Office of International Students, so we are your point of contact, we're not the point of contact for all needs. So if you need enrollment verification or you need to order your transcript once you're done with HPU, like the registrar's office already said, you're going to contact them directly. As well as if you need tuition payment verification. A lot of students need to prove to the government loans, LANE-CASA and BAföG, CSN, all the loans that you get, they want to see that you actually are an HPU student and that you pay a tuition. So all those forms will also be issued by the registrar's office, as well as course registration or any course changes, you will work with the registrar's office directly. Just a couple of reminders. Okay, and then one of the most important things is the immigration reminder. So you are required to report to OISS after you arrive on island. Of course, if you arrive on the weekend, we're not going to be here on the weekend, so please come the following Monday. But before you go to the beach, enjoy Hawaii, because most of the students might arrive a little bit early before the semester starts, please make sure the first thing on your mind should be come to OISS and check in. So it is required that you come to us, you bring your original passport, you have a couple of documents listed there, you need your original passport, you need your I-20. Please, please, please write it down. We need your original I-20. You need your I-20 to enter the US. Not a scan, not a picture on your phone, you need the original document. So please print it out when you have it. As well as DS 2019 for J1 students, if we have any J1 students on the call. You will also need your current accommodation address. So if you live in a hotel, if you live in Airbnb, if you live in a hostel, and most of the units might have numbers. So please make sure that you know your exact address where you're staying. Even if you're staying there for just the first couple of days after you arrive on island, we need the address. And then once you move, once you have your housing, you will need to update your address. You also want to bring your I-94 record. If you go to, you basically just type in the Google search bar I-94, and that is the record that the US government keeps every time you enter the country. So just bring us a copy of that so we know how you entered, if they stamped you at the airport with the correct code, if they give you the correct entry stamp, because sometimes maybe the people at the borders, there are a lot of people coming to the US, they might give you different stamps. So we have to make sure that they process you as an F1 student and you're not entered as a ESTA student or something like that. We want to make sure that you are processed at the airport as an F1. Okay, that's on that side. Just a few more things. That page should be the fourth page on your I-20. I-20 at hpu.edu should have issued an I-20 to you if you fulfilled all the requirements to be issued one. That page should be part of those documents. It should be the fourth page. Please make sure you keep that. Please make sure you read that and you understand everything. The third page on your I-20 also has a lot of information that we want to make sure you understand and you read. Because it's a visa type, you're coming here to study, we want to avoid any problems. And you will receive your I-20 electronically via email. And very important, it will go to your HPU email. So if you did everything that you need to do and you're wondering, where's my I-20, make sure that you have access to your HPU email, because we will not send it to your Gmail account, it will go to your HPU email account. And then once you have it, please make sure that you print it, because you want to bring in the physical copy. Print it, and on the first page at the bottom, there's going to be a signature and a date. Line, please make sure that you sign that in blue. That is also very important. Again, do not keep it on your phone. That's not going to work. We need the physical copy. Okay. A couple of other things. Kelly already mentioned in the beginning the Kuyana checklist, where you have access to just go through all the different checklist items to see if you're on track. If you go to hpu.edu/guide, you're going to be able to upload your photo. Once you upload your photo, we're going to have access to your photo, and we can issue your ID in advance. This is very good, because once you come here, there's going to be hundreds of students, and if you already have your photo uploaded, we're going to be able to pre-print your IDs. So once you get here, you check in with us, we're going to be able to issue your bus pass right away. We don't need to spend time taking a picture, making sure everything is okay. So you can already upload it in advance, and you see the deadline there before Monday, August 14. So if you upload it later or you forget to upload it, we can still do it here. We can take a picture here when you arrive. Just be aware it might take some time, and it will definitely delay the process of you getting an ID. If you think you can just come and be in and out in 10 minutes, that's not going to work. So bring some time and just be ready. That might take some time. Okay. And then this is the health insurance waiver form, one of the most important documents for you. You can see the path there, but Kelly should also be able to post the link into the chat, so you can just go through there. This is the document that you have to fill out and sign. It's going to ask you if you have health insurance. It's going to ask you the dates you covered, and you also have to initialize all the fields to make sure that your health insurance that you buy will cover your stay here at HPU. As you might know or not, health insurance in the US, and if something happens, just a minor thing, it will cost a lot of money, hundreds up to thousands of dollars. So you want to make sure that you have the health insurance, and your health insurance covers all the amounts listed on the HPU form, because that will make sure that when you get here, your health insurance is aware of that, of the bills, and everything will be fine. And there again is the deadline, September 8, 2023. That is the deadline we want to have the health insurance. We will not accept the health insurance submitted later. I have already seen a couple of health insurance forms submitted, which is great. The earlier, the better. If you already have all your documents there ready, you know you will 100% enter the plane and arrive in Hawaii in August. Make sure that you can submit your health insurance waiver already, so you don't have to wait till you get here. You can already work on that. And also important to mention, we just need a health insurance waiver form. You don't have to submit your policy. We don't need a statement from your policy provider, from anyone. We just need you signing the form, because we will take your signature, we will take your word. If you sign the signature and the form, and you tell us, yes, I have health insurance, I'll be covered, we believe you. And then if something happens, we want to make sure that you truthfully answered that form, because then we will make you responsible to make sure that you have the health insurance. Okay, and then on our website, like Kelly mentioned, in the general HPU website, so if you go to hpu.edu, you can either in the search field just type in OISS, or you just go to the direct link, hpu.edu/OISS, to get to our website. There's a new students sections on the left, so you can go through pre-arrival checklist. There are some FNQs. If you have any questions, if you're thinking about what do I pack, what do I need in Hawaii, what is life going to look like in Hawaii, so you can make sure that you just go through all the different resources that we have available for you. And again, if you have more questions, if there are any specific questions, please don't hesitate to contact us directly. Okay, next one. Yeah. So here's our contact information. We do have, our OISS office has 2 different emails. So if you have any I-20 related question, you can email i20@hpu.edu. That's also going to be the email, and Talia is the worker who's going to email you your I-20. She's also the one that's going to ask financial documents. Anything I-20 related should be emailed to i20@hpu.edu. If you have any other general inquiries, you can just email to iss@hpu.edu. That's our main email address for general questions. Our advising hours are from 8 to 3:30. So, But of course, once you get here, we're going to extend that because we know that there's going to be a lot of students and we want to make sure we check you in correctly. But you can also find us at Waterfront Plaza 5A. We're all in the same office. We're here to help you. So please don't hesitate to email, call, just give us your questions so we make sure you have a smooth transition.
Thank you so much, Christina. That was a very good information. Probably the most that I've gotten from some of the OISS information. That's awesome. All right, folks. So just so you guys are kind of aware, I just want to show you an overview of what the rest of the summer is going to look like. I tried to indicate, you know, what information is going to be relevant to U.S. students versus international students. However, I may have not captured everything, okay? I do want to focus that these sessions are specifically going to cover international student needs, okay? Everything else is going to be, it's the other ones that we're offering are going to be very much focused on our U.S. domestic students, okay? So just if you can make it to, you know, all the 8:30 sessions, I think you're going to have a much bigger advantage to just a smoother, you know, journey here, as opposed to those who don't, you know, that just show up and they're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, whose fault is that? Okay, so I am putting, that's the link, okay? I just put it in the chat, hpu.edu/guide. I cannot repeat it enough. The recordings from these sessions are going to be posted there, as well as a different sort of Kuleana checklist. And like Christina said, even if you're internet, go through each one, just check it out, and then you know, you will know if it's for international students or if it's not pertaining to you. Just go through, make sure you know, cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and then we'll see you guys here in August, you know? So if you wanted to grab the screen, you're welcome to do that. That way you have a kind of a heads up, of what we'll be covering as we move forward. Please feel free to do that. Okay, so I do want to thank real quick. We are going to open it up in just a couple of minutes to answer whatever questions you might have right now. But real quick, there were people that actually submitted a bunch of questions in advance of today's session. So thank you for that, okay? Number one, I'm gonna just go through, I think it's like 5 or 6 of them that were submitted in advance, and we'll just go from there, okay? Number one, what can I take to the dorms? Well, you know, I mean, given that you're traveling from so far away, my big advice is just pack light, and get what you can get here, okay? To me, it doesn't really make sense to travel abroad and try to bring, unless it's something that can be easily packed, maybe it has some sentimental value, you know, I say leave it at home. You can grab stuff when you get here, okay? But just to sort of reinforce that message, I am putting in the what to bring link when living on campus. And this could honestly be used even if you're living off campus, okay? So Residence Life, they've put together a nice comprehensive list of some items that they recommend. But maybe in your case, what's more important in a shorter list of things maybe not to bring. That's probably the list you should be looking at. And then of course, make your life easier. You're traveling super far. I wouldn't want to pack too much. Okay, number 2. Are you able to move into the dorms as soon as you land, so like 1 to 2 days earlier? Unfortunately, no, we're not able to provide on-campus housing until our actual scheduled general move-in day, which will take place on Wednesday, August 23rd. Okay, if you have super specific questions about your housing application or something of that nature, please contact them directly. So that, because like, you know, we've been talking about how each person's sort of information is housed in the portal. Each person's information is very specific to them. So it's the same thing with housing. Okay, it's one of those areas of the university where the information is very private, it's very personal, and it should be discussed with that department, okay? Okay. Number 3, what is the social life like on campus? Do students have plenty of freedom to become adults? I came up with this answer, and then I do have a couple of resource links to share with folks. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. I think there's a ton of opportunities to grow here at, you know, in university, but really in Hawaii as well, right? We're really unique in I'm getting a call right now, excuse me. So we're really unique in terms of just geography and culture, yeah, where we are in the world and then who we are as a people. So there's tons of opportunity to practice having all this freedom to grow up in a sense, to build your own sense of community, to learn about other cultures. And to me, that's all. It's a huge personal growth process. But I shared so community living. You can take a look at our values, what they mean, and what kind of think through what that might look like for you. And then, of course, student activities. Yeah, you can go in there, kind of take a look at some of the things that we do on campus for our students and within our community. Just to kind of get you guys stoked about these things, right? We do have a lot of different things going on campus that I think it's probably a good idea to start building your sense of community here at HPU, and then start to branch out into the wider community. Yeah. Okay, number four, what happens if a student misses quote unquote curfew if there is any? Guys, HP does not set curfews for students, okay? Again, you can refer to the community living page. It should give you some sort of advice and tips on just how to be like a good roommate, how to be a good member of the community and or neighbor. Okay, I would just go with that, but we're not gonna act as your parents and just set like curfew and track your moves, okay? Number six. Oh, excuse me. Hold on one second. Whoa, it jumped the gun. Number six, how do you match students with proper roommates? How do you have so much certainty, quote unquote? Well, I don't know if I've ever seen any claims that we are super certain about matching students with each other. But you are given, so at the time of like your application, your offered housing, all of these things, let's say everything goes through smoothly, you're going on campus, you're generally given some sort of like a questionnaire that would essentially help match you, right? So as long as you're answering the honest, like answering the questionnaire honestly, what kind of living conditions do you want, right? That, and then it's going to be based on the type of room you're going to get, right? The type, if you're getting a quad, you're getting a single, you're getting a double, that already puts you into a bucket of with other students. So within that group, then it's going to come down to sort of preferences, lifestyle preferences. Yeah. Um, just a quick bit of it again, be flexible, have an open mind. We, that's probably my number one is like, we don't really have control over other people. We have control over ourselves. Okay. But I do want to share this real quick. There is a short little clip from our coordinator, housing coordinator, I believe, Katie. So just maybe a minute, 2 minutes on this. In fact, I might be able to skip through it.
Living in an HPU community really has a lot of benefits in terms of the connections and the friendships that you can make. All the people living on campus are HPU peers, so you are all kind of in this college experience together, which gives you that opportunity to grow and learn from each other. When it comes to off-campus living, I usually recommend students to look on social media for Facebook groups, HPU related, and those groups usually have other people moving to the island, and they are also looking for housing or even roommates. So I suggest starting from those social media groups and then make your way out in terms of looking for a place and looking for it together. Another option for off-campus housing is emailing the department chair of the program that you are attending. Get a contact list in terms of the other students that are coming within the same program. You can all contact each other, create a group chat. Then that would be a great way to start looking in terms of housing recommendations, housing locations that other students have, and even potential roommates within your own cohort. So when it comes to roommate selection, some things to keep in mind is
What she was going to say is to not expect your roommate to be your best friend. However, your roommate could turn into your best friend. Sorry about the glitch, folks. It tends to happen right when you don't want it to happen, but it's all good. Okay, my computer is just deciding to do its own thing for just a hot second. So just give me one second. Let it recover, okay? And then we are going to open it up for Q&A. And then folks, if you want to unmute yourself, you're welcome to ask questions that way. Or if you just want to put it in the chat, that works too. Oh, this is so frustrating. Aloha, can folks still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if it's the network or if it was just my specific machine decided to time out. Okay, but we are ready.
Can't hear you,
to
Kelly,
take
but it's very
questions.
choppy, so you know.
Okay, well, we're open for Q&A if you want to put it in the chat. Okay, is it any better now? No, that's a no.
Yeah, so guys, please feel free to ask questions if you have any. You can either put it in the chat. If you don't have any questions, feel free to hop off. I think we're done with the presentation. If you have maybe some private question, you can stay on longer until it's just a smaller group if you don't feel comfortable asking a question out in a bigger group. But this is just some time for you just to maybe ask a question that some other people might have the same question, or maybe you hear about a question that you were not thinking of. So it's just some time for yourself. Otherwise, of course, if you're available via email, but also please know we're getting busy slowly, so it might take some time till we get back to you. Like Kelly already mentioned, 3 to 5 days for I-20 related questions, maybe even 7 to 10 business days. It just depends. So if you have any questions we can help you with right now, that would be a great time to get your answer real quick.
Okay, don't be shy now. If there are no questions, we're going to go ahead and end the meeting.
Yeah, I think so. I think I will ask sometimes later via mail or in another meeting the next 2 weeks. When I've checked all the papers and issues I have found here, I'll come back with questions, I think.
That sounds good. Thank
Okay,
you.
sounds good.
And Kelly, I do
All right,
see we have a
everybody.
question. No, sorry,
Oh.
I saw one quick question, just a reminder about that we did record this presentation and it will be posted to the site once it downloads and we're able to upload it to the website.
Okay, will be great.
Okay. Aloha, everybody. We'll see you at the next Ohana check-in.
Thank you, guys.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bye-bye.